Hello, everyone. Welcome to our summer 2025 seasonal anime preview. We have watched the first episode of 23 of the anime of this season, which, believe it or not, is only about half of the shows that came out this season, that are coming out this season on television, indeed. So, as usual, for those who haven't been watching this before, none of these are season 2s, season 3s, season 4s. None of these are anime aimed specifically at like very young children, like kindergarteners, that kind of thing. No H, and also what was the other restriction we usually put on there? I can't remember. But yes, so that is the thing. This is just episode 1. There are a few that we skipped out on partway through because we were like, we got this. We understand what this is. And so that's fine. And this is just episode 1 of each show. So we're going to start in kind of an interesting place with Nine Rulers Crown, which is a show that starts off in a way that feels kind of like a bad anime, and then you realize you're actually watching a bad anime. Like, that is the joke.
Yeah.
And then we move into generic anime, weirdly enough.
You go shoujo to not shoujo.
We start off with this anime that just goes, it's so bad you don't even know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go into, okay, we were just watching a flat screen at a festival of something.
Which, to be fair, for it, this is one of those where enough development, the generic shoujo start actually could have been pretty cool. Like, it's confusing at what's going on, but at least, you know what I mean? It's like...
By shoujo, I assume you mean shonen.
Yeah, shonen.
Okay,
sorry.
yeah.
Although I would like to have had a shoujo. But that's not important here. Shonen, yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, if it had been like a shonen that we understood, like some of what characters are doing, what's going on, it actually could have been a good standalone.
Yeah, it was fun.
It had some interesting action going on. There was interesting stuff happening.
Yeah.
But then they just sort of slapped us in the face, like, no, that's not what it is at all.
Yeah.
So all that rage and screaming and rage beasts and everything for the past 180 seconds. Yeah, no.
It is. So these are all people who are involved in the making of that anime, basically, or the production company, kind of. And so, and then things start to happen, shall we say? There's definitely it is not purely a just like rom-com. But it kind of has the feel. And we were talking, unfortunately, for episode 1, I think partly because they went in that direction. I felt so much whiplash that then when we got to the actual show, it took me a while to get into the characters of that, and then it's pretty slow in building those characters in episode 1.
Yeah.
So I think if you're enjoying what you're seeing, you know, a few episodes, it might start to get there, but it was kind of an uneven episode 1.
Yeah. Pacing was slow. I mean, it got to the point where we're just like going, okay, please.
Well, you start out at 100, and then you go to like 20.
Yeah.
Like, okay, definitely a whiplash moment of like, what the hell's happening? So, fair.
But cute character designs, inoffensive characters, right? Nobody were like, stop talking. I think one of those shows just needs to cook a little longer for me to fall in love with it.
Yeah,
but that's fine. Moving on from that to Bad Girl.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. So this is the story of a girl who decides she's going to be bad, so that she will get the attention of the sort of school monitor girl, and get
school idolish, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Who she very much has a crush on. What I really appreciated this was the animation budget, quite high, very consistent character designs, cute characters, but that's obviously subjective. And it is a fun premise that I think is well represented visually where you get a lot of emotion in the characters, a lot of good facial expression, a lot of humor there. Not the deepest anime ever, but it was
No.
light fun one.
Well, it's our. I feel that it's kind of like our Yuri
Yes.
contribution for the season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So girls liking hanging out with girls. Now,
Mhm.
don't whatever else happens, that's fine. But it's
Yeah.
like girls just hanging out with girls. So there doesn't seem to be any boy particular interaction. So it's kind of
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to be sugary cute. I mean,
Yes.
this is not. Brent, that is a really good description. There's nothing deep here. This is the kiddie pool kind of, and in terms of content, but it's basically our heroine, the short hair girl that decides to be a bad girl to gain the attention of the person that they are. So many other women are in this school are admiring, and it's just all the wackiness that ensues on that. So this is if you're looking for Shakespeare, no.
Well, it's our cute girls doing cute.
Yes, you things. Yes,
Exactly.
Or cute girls doing really not much of anything.
Yeah.
But still,
Girls
being very cute.
Cute girls doing stupid things.
Yeah, there you
Much
go.
of the time,
Yeah.
Moving on to City the Animation, which is colorful. It is random, I think would be
yes.
the word I can best think of. I love the art style, but it has
Yes.
that kind of empty humor where you're
Yeah.
supposed to laugh because it is random.
Yes.
Okay, here's the question that occurs to me. I didn't ask both of you.
Mm.
If you had never seen Nichijou, ever,
Mhm.
would this have been funnier?
I have not seen Nichijou.
Really?
Yeah.
Neither have I.
I was gonna say because it feels derivative because it's the art style's similar, the sort of random goofiness is kind of similar. So for me, it was kind of like, oh, it's a nostalgic kind of feel to
Okay.
watch, to be
Yeah,
like, oh,
fair.
okay, this is in the same style, so I feel comfortable with it.
Mhm.
But it didn't feel like it broke any new ground. It's like, well,
No.
I've already seen this one that was like, oh, that's kind of funny. There's random things happening.
Yeah.
That it's like watching this is like, so you did the same thing again?
Maybe one of the things I took away from this, I enjoyed it for what it was.
Sure.
And but I will tell
The
you
deep
that
philosophical points?
yeah, so many. Being very facetious in case you all can tell.
Yeah.
But the thing about this is, and I think we were talking about this, was that this really should not have been a 23-minute episode. This is definitely one of those, hey, each segment's 3 minutes long. You watch it, you laugh at it. All right, cool. You move on with your life. That's really what this is. There is no plot to any of this. This is just literally rando things happening.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, our entire 2-minute introduction was one entire random event that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's one of those things where the humor is very idiosyncratic. You will either laugh your head off or it'll just bounce completely off you.
Yeah.
So, don't take what we're saying as evidence that you will or won't like it. It's just try it and see.
Depends on you. Yeah, it depends on you. Yeah.
Nichijou Azumanga Daioh, like a lot of these where it's like just kind of wacky things are happening, and it's like it's fun. All three of us, I heard us all laughing at certain points, but it's like it's definitely not one of those where I would say, oh, I have to schedule my time to watch this because it is really it's touching something that's really important. It's like, oh no, this is kind of fluff. It's just goofy.
Yeah. All right, moving on from there to Dekin no Mogura, which was a lovely kind of surprise for us.
Yeah.
Lovely, perhaps not the best word.
A nice surprise.
Nice surprise. A surprising surprise.
Yes.
So I watched this independently of the other two, and this is like such in my wheelhouse of like being offbeat and a little bit weird, but still engaging and interesting. I mean, the character designs. That I kind of laugh at the guy at the guy here because his head, I think, is like purposely supposed to be bigger than his body should be able to support.
Yeah.
But I just love the idea of this like immortal bum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Just basically coming across these two, and then just wackiness ensues, and you get an idea. But the color palette of this,
Yeah.
is just amazing. And when they show the magical street, Drawer Street, and it's just really kind of just, it's just really, really interesting. And you come to find out that this guy's just like, I've basically discovered the secret of immortality because I'm being punished for something I did a long time ago, and I can probably get around it if I was a little bit more active, and it's
I wasn't lazy,
just a bum. But it's just there's so much to enjoy and laugh at, I think, in this one.
Well, I felt when we were watching this, it's like I should have said something. The female part of this, where you see sitting here on the right,
you mean the girl?
She felt She felt really, even though they're college students.
Yeah,
she felt really chibified for just a straightforward cute factor.
Yeah,
the guy, it so feels like this is what the director looks like.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he is done.
He's
done in a way where like she's just cute. She's got this sort of adorable chibi face, and she's got a little hairdo, and it's like, okay, she feels like Digimon or Pokemon kind of girl. And he looks like, hey, wouldn't it be funny, dude? Hey, wouldn't it be funny if we made the director be like the other guy? It like drew him up like that because his facial style is distinctly different than hers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have no idea, but it really feels like somebody's getting sort of made fun of here.
Okay. I mean, it is based on a manga, so I don't think they made him look like. Yeah, I'm sure that's what he looks like in the manga.
Or the artist. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know who he's supposed to look like, but it feels like it's a very purposeful design for this guy.
Yep.
And the Japanese voice actor they got for him is that wonderfully. You can tell that he's just from that look of just like eternally PO'd about something.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of how he comes off. But when we look at the bum guy, the immortal bum, he has the best voice actor. I don't know who it is, but it's the one of those voice actors that just can portray that because he just kind of talks like this. And I just have to drink the flame of the soul, and I just keep on living. But I can't be. I gotta make money. How am I going to do that? You want to get in my bath over here? It's just that wonderful,
it's only 500 yen.
It's only 500, and that wonderful slow and low kind of voice actor of just being someone who's lazy.
Yeah. This is one of those things that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and just kind of surprised us.
Yes.
Moving on to Fermat's Cuisine. So, like we were talking about before, some of these other shows, another one of those shows where I think episode 1 does a fine job of laying out the premise, but we wanted a little bit more to really get a sense of where the show's going. The main character is a math Olympiad, one of these mathematicians in school who is engaging in math competitions and who kind of blows out, is not able to progress, and so ends up taking a left turn into cooking. One of the things that intrigued me about this is how it kind of blends genres of not only having the cooking element of it, but also having kind of a sports anime element to it. A lot of the character designs feel like they're pulling from. I'll see if I can find a shot of the gang, if you will. There we go. Where a lot of the characters feel like, okay, these are either shonen enemies, or they are rivals in some way. But also there's this adolescent angst that is very core to the main character.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, the element that for me, and for those of you who watch this channel for a while, I'm not, the shonen doesn't hit me very hard. And so this is very much a shonen-y kind of a concept in terms of I'm a teenager and I suck. So,
Yeah.
It's basically Shinji learns to cook.
But it has a nice animation budget, and like we were talking, I like how it is positioning itself in terms of what it's saying to the audience, how it's connecting math to cooking, and the kind of journey of that character to hopefully become more self-assured. So I want to see more of that soon, please.
Yeah.
As we talked about, I wish he'd toned down. I hate myself. I suck. I'm the worst. Why did I choke? Okay, I get that. That's the character development. That's the why your math Olympian is cooking. I personally didn't feel like I needed that much self-loathing to get the
kneeling in the kneeling in the rain and just like begging for a scholarship back. That was like really not needed. So we can get that point without like going, here's the 2x4 of self-loathing. Whack.
But I mean, those are quibbling bits overall, because it seems like it could go interesting places with this.
There are possibilities.
Yes, and they're definitely pointing towards those possibilities, as opposed to well, we hope maybe We'll see. And
as opposed to telling us this won't go anywhere. In which case, that's terrible way to go for anime.
But yes, nice animation budget, and a good cast of a diverse cast of characters. So I'm hoping folks can bounce off each other. Oh, and I also want to call out the girl. See if we can get a shot of her here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say booty ears of the chairman.
I really like how they set her up. She's taking this, it's like a remedial cooking class, I think. What is it? Something like that with him?
Something like that, yeah.
And she immediately like falls in love with his food.
Well, they work at the school cafeteria.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
so she just is his coworker.
And
main love interest. I mean,
yeah, I know. And I love how they set her up as somebody who is supportive of his cooking skills as a peer, right?
Yeah.
Not the authority figure who says, "Oh, you can do it." Somebody just regular who happens to be standing there saying, "Oh, you're good at this." And then the fact that they bring her on along, she is an effective kind of audience surrogate, just kind of commentator kind of a character. So I think they did a good job of positioning her as a character.
And I think also to that point, for like good positioning, his sort of Debbie Downer on himself and stuff, she acts as a good like counterpoint to that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it right, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh no, this is delicious. This is great. And it's like, oh, okay. So you're kind of like him when he embraces it.
Yeah.
He's the downside, you're the upside, and together you've got this kind of yin yang kind of thing going on where it's like I kind of see and I kind of hope to see where this develops as it goes further into the show.
The vibe I got off of her was not the sycophantic fan of the guy. She, and I'm glad you put it as a peer, as someone who's just like going, hey, I'm doing this too because of reasons, and hey, you're pretty good, let's try and get this through, and I like you as a human being. That's the other part. It's like I like you as a human being, and for that reason I don't want to see you kneeling in the rain in front of this church.
I don't think of you as trash.
Oh, right.
Oh, how lovely. What a great person.
Imagine that.
I will step on your neck. What?
And speaking of food, let's talk about
Oh yes.
Meet Me at the Food Court. So I read the first volume of this manga and really enjoyed it because it is a chill set of conversations between two friends who share an interest that their kind of class doesn't share, and so they're kind of meeting kind of in secret, or at least away from their classmates, so that they can chat. I don't think that comes across the same way in the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the anime, there's something about the way they chat that feels more combative, I guess, than the vibe I got in the anime. And so I don't know, there's something about that made it less charming for me.
Right.
So I'm glad that you said that it was a manga, because I don't think I picked up on that if you said it before as we were watching it. But I'm glad you said that, because one of my problems with this was that not just because it seemed that they're a little off with each other and combative, but it was definitely having that weird back and forth that wasn't working for me. But I could see that back and forth as a manga.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like the manga seems like, if I were to read the manga, I'd be like, oh, okay, and I'll probably enjoy it more than I did this. It's not bad.
No.
No, by any stretch of imagination. It's just that this is, and I think one of the clever things about this is that this is literally just two people having a finding a place for them to be themselves and talking to each other as much as they talk, and in this interesting food court area.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a slice of life, but it's fine. You know.
Well, I brought up when we were watching it. It's like it is a subtle and interesting conversation about social media in an interactive space where there's people involved, so that you have these people having this conversation. Somebody's addressing something, somebody's texting something. It's like so it's a very interactive media involved, but it's also sort of I think there's a commentary there about the sort of distracted sort of isolation. These two people have come to a separate space to engage in an interpersonal relationship, and yet they are still having to sort of interact with each other through the social media texting and other things. I've seen other shows like this. It wasn't Take You. It was another one where it was four girls that were high school girls sitting around a table, and they would address a topic, and then all of them would participate.
Okay.
So they said, "Hey, what about baseball?" And then it was just like, wouldn't it be fun if baseball was like played with footballs? And like they just had this round robin kind of conversation. It's extremely relaxing. But it's not. It's if you're looking for something that's got a love interest, or it's got action, or it's got some kind of meat to chew on. This is, despite the sort of subtle, social commentaries. It is very, not actiony.
No.
No.
Now that said, I think the animators have done an excellent job of portraying their personalities, of giving you as much animation as you would get in a conversation scene. It never felt cheap in that way. But that is one of the downsides, is that it's literally just two girls talking.
Yeah.
And you guys know, I'm big for having something that is a beautiful lunchtime watch.
Sure.
That is just quiet and simple and just healing, centering, relaxing, allowing me to go on the day. This is a little too relaxing for me. This is more like something else, a little more poppy going off that I can sort of get into.
Interesting.
But that said, it's quite lovely in all the aspects of it. It's just it's not going to give you any thrill, I have a feeling, at any given point.
No.
Right.
Yeah, and like a lot of humor, it's it's a question of whether you are going to appreciate that humor is going to hit for you. That particular kind of two characters not quite needling each other, but that I don't know quite what to call it. Rough-edged conversation, I
Right.
guess, between people who are clearly friendly.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the intro is very misleading, actually, because they have the two of them interacting with each other in a very positive dancing, yes,
Yeah.
dancing and doing things and being active, but the anime itself is literally them sitting that one picture of us
Yeah.
or showing you that two
Yeah.
of them sitting there with the phones and talking to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like you're not getting this,
No.
you're
Yeah.
getting the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe, it's going to get there at some point over the course
And
of
that's
the
what I was
show.
going to say. This, again, is episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And, like the nine ruler crown thing, they gave you something really to watch in that first, 30 seconds where you're like, holy. And then you've got this sort of down step to, something else. This is just kind of a slow vibe.
Yeah.
Whether it picks up or not, it's hard to say whether somebody watching this just cold is going to be like, nah, it doesn't go anywhere. I'm done.
Sure.
Episode 3 might be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah. Also, good job of spending 23 minutes in a food court and not making it feel boring.
Yeah.
And they kept choosing angles to just keep it fresh. Fair enough. All right. Moving on to The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, so I don't have to show the Netflix logo. So this is a romance anime.
Really?
If that's what you want, if you want romance, you're going to get it in this
You're gonna get
anime.
it.
If you don't want romance, probably not the show for you.
Yes.
What stuck out at us is like a really strong sense of place for me. Like this feels like the streets of a city. This feels like, and that sounds odd, but there's just a lot of detail around it, a lot of I don't know, grounding. So you have the group of your main characters. We'll see if we can get a good shot of them. Probably not. There we go. Where your sort of main boys, the boy on the left is unusually tall and kind of has the harsh natural expression, and so gets kind of always been bullied isn't exactly the right word, but has been ostracized, typecast,
yes, yeah.
There we go. All through his childhood, and so he's kind of more or less embraced that. And then, of course, a girl shows up. Hearts go aflutter, and we continue on from there. What was kind of also remarkable about us is that this is, boy, does this look like an Otome anime. 4 hot guys, all kind of surrounding all of those very distinctive things, but very quickly, it becomes about the guy and the girl.
Yes.
Where he works at this patisserie, she comes in, and there's a bit of misunderstanding, and they start interacting with each other.
Yeah. What I was going to say, the big deal with the guy is that he has resting kick your butt face.
Yeah.
And, he's we get the tragic, thankfully 30 seconds worth of tragic backstory of just like, I've always been this way, and this is how people present it, and I just let it go because there's no way for me to explain it.
Yeah.
Coupled with the fact that he actually can do those things.
True. Yeah.
Right. But he's actually not a bad person. So that's that's not a spoiler. You learned that right off the bat. He's not a bad
blissfully person. Him proving his toughness is not a central part.
Good point. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That it's like this is about a lot of things that are around physicality, but blissfully played very low key. I think there's only one point where we actually see that physicality.
Correct.
Yeah.
But we don't see that like an escalation factor.
Well,
right.
And I'll just come out right and say it. There are 2 situations in which there are threats being made, and in both cases, he diffuses them with a glare.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes.
In one case, he does get physical, but he doesn't punch them out or anything.
There's not a street fight.
Exactly. And it's like, Thank you.
Yeah.
Which tells me that you're not aiming for an audience that's looking for fist
Yeah.
fights.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking
Yeah.
for the dramatic ramp up to the possibility of physicality, the threat of physicality,
Yeah.
but the resolution through a reasonable means that allows you to continue on with what the actual focus of this thing is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is two people learning more about each other, getting over typecasting, getting over what they
Right.
believe the stereotypes are, and just sort of feeling out where they're going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's a really good point, because this anime is not just a romantic anime; it is a romantic anime. For those of you who know me, I love this kind of crap. But to John's point, stereotype is the big theme here.
Yeah.
Because you have a boys school for, as he puts it, as our Rintaro, our hero, puts it, for idiots. Is looked down upon by the literally all girls school next door for women of rich people and all that stuff, like Thor, I think Orion High School kind of stuff going on, where they look down on them. So there's both stereotypes of going which way, and so it's all about that. And one of the nice things is that as he meets the girl in the patisserie, which is owned by his family, and she immediately runs off. And it's kind of interesting to see that his stereotype of her is, I scared her, so she scared me. And then it just, the rest of the episode happens, and you're just like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. Because that's one of the questions I have, kind of, is, okay, it's about stereotyping. How much longer are they going to play with that in the show?
Yeah.
Because something that could become kind of an old hat, concern. Is he going to grow out of that quickly, or is it going to take him a while to figure that out on himself?
Right.
That's curious. Also, really appreciate the general pacing here. They take their time. They let things develop over the course of the episode. It never feels rushed, but it also never feels drawn out.
Right.
We get sort of bit after bit after bit, and an episode where there's a lot of setup. Like they're explaining to you, here's my school, that's that school, here's how I'm portrayed. So there's a fair amount they get through in the episode, which is
and as we discussed, it's like he has a very particular art style, and then somebody absolutely adores
yes.
Oh my God.
Where he is presented very fine. I mean, he's fine. He's animated well.
Yep.
And then it's just like somebody has a waifu that they are just absolutely all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lavish attention on her anime at times.
Yeah.
And the budget in general is not high in terms of movement, but there's a lot of very... again, when you're doing an anime that is very much set in the real world, there's nothing fantastical, it can be difficult to keep that consistency, to keep that looking good, for lack of a better term, and not get lazy. And this keeps up that quality kind of all the way through, which I appreciate.
You can get bored with the character design.
Yeah.
After a certain amount of time, sometimes even within an episode. Not with this girl.
Nope.
No, they lavished it on her.
Yep. So. Indeed. All right, move on to a show that, boy, my thoughts changed so dramatically from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, and that is Futari Solo Camp.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Basic premise. Let's go ahead and get a shot of the two of them so we can kind of. There we go. Simple premise. Guy goes out. He loves camping by himself. Girl shows up. She's unprepared, and he ends up letting her stick around a little bit just so she doesn't, freeze to death.
Doesn't die.
Exactly. And then at the end, she's like, "We should solo camp together." They're both kind of jerks. I'm sorry, they just kind of are. So the vibe they go for in episode 1 is to really heighten the difference between the two of them, and to make them make her be pretty annoying, and him be just, I don't want to deal with this person at all. And it's so strong, it sets it off on this foot that's a little bit like, well, why would I want to watch more of this show if that's how they're going to be with each other for the next 12 episodes? I'm sure they're not. You know, they probably will not do that. But it just, I don't know. That was kind of unfortunate. It's
basically The Odd Couple, but not funny. I mean, that's kind of what it is. And I think I had, like you, Brent, I think I had expectations for this anime because I, on YouTube, watch people who solo camp. And I think it's very interesting because they, you know, between the gadgets and how they do things, processes, and stuff like that. So I was kind of expecting like this. And with her, I think, John, you said that she was like Nadeshiko.
The adult version of the Eurocamp.
Yeah. And so I was kind of expecting of that kind of like, you know, that from him, a more Rin-like attitude of just like, oh, okay, this is a bit of a bother, but you know what? Okay, she's here. She made me a good meal, and you know, why not? Let's do the thing, right? And I think that's what we were all expecting. But as you so eloquently put it, Brett, they're kind of jerks towards each other. Like she's just really just in his face all the time, and does not seem to either listen or understand his point, which is, I am doing this for me time to get out of the city, to do the thing. And this is what you see in the YouTube videos as well as explanation, where I'm here to see the stars, the moon, to sit here and think and be me. And she's just like, well, I want to start doing this because, you know, I wanted to go out, but I didn't prepare. Aren't I stupid? And all I brought was food. You know, it's just, and she's not really doing anything. Now, conversely, I don't want to make him seem like the victim because he's not. He turns around and looks at her and basically is just like, invader of my space, be gone, you witch. I mean, literally, he's just like, it's almost like he's, I think I even used the word incel at one point.
Yes, you did.
And it's just like, dude, you know, I mean, he does the right thing at the end, but, you know, by, you know, letting her sleep in the tent while he freezes outside. But his whole demeanor is just like, how dare you invade my space? How dare you do this? And you know, it's just, you're just like you, Brett, at the end of it, you're just like, I'm sure this is going to improve over some episodes, but do I really want to go through that? To get there? Do I really want to deal with that? You know, it's just like, I don't think I do.
It feels very much like somebody said, let's do Eurocamp adults. And let's make them dysfunctional. You know, because it has all the seeds of what made Eurocamp good. Somebody who doesn't know how to camp, somebody who's an experienced camper, cooking, you know, spending time together, things that happen while you're camping, the gear that you need for camping. Like all those boxes are ticked. But then you just dialed into these characters where it's like, he is a jackass. Like, you know what I mean? For his, you know, raison d'etre for being out there, that's fine. But it's like, he is just unrelentingly mean to her through most of this. Even when she's like, oh, well, I'll make you food. And it's like, okay, he's unrelentingly mean. And you really are not reading the room, lady.
True.
You know what I mean? It's like, you so desperately want to do this camping thing that you have found, no offense to this guy, but a hapless soul that is willing to at least minimally tolerate you forcing your wanting to do this on him. So it's like, okay, it doesn't have the charm of Eurocamp. It does have, I would say, quintuple the number of sponsors at the end of the episode, where I was like, holy cow. Obviously, sponsors of outdoor equipment recognize the fact that Eurocamp really led to a lot of people trying to go out and do things they might or might not have been good at doing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a ton of sponsorship for this.
Mm-hmm.
So I get kind of where it's driving.
Yeah.
Episode 2, nominally better,
Okay.
All
but
right.
not like
Not much.
not enough that if you're not a dedicated Eurocamp kind of person that you want to persevere. If you were coming into this absolutely no idea what's going on, you'd be like, why in the hell do I want to watch this?
Okay.
So I don't think the first episode, I don't think they hit the right beat
Mm-hmm.
to get people to be like, oh, this will develop something interesting. It's like, no, he's just not a malleable enough character that his personality will work with her being as pushy as she is.
Mm-hmm.
So I like camping.
Yeah.
It's about the best I can say for it. I like camping.
I think you nailed it with the word charm, right? Like there's nothing charming about this show, really. It's funny at times. I will certainly give it that. There's some cute moments. She looks cute, all that stuff. But just all the charm is gone because of that aggravation, that kind of deep-seated personal hatred that he seems to feel to her, and her just obliviousness to the desires of another human being to live their life. It's like,
yeah, Steve's point about Rin being accepting and tolerant of Nadeshko's kind of like inexperience and lack of knowledge, but desire to know was a charming and really sort of like an interesting entry point for a show where you're like, well, this will be interesting to see the person who knows and is like, fine, with the person who's like, I really desperately want to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, and that was kudos to them. They hit a charm point. I think it's going to be really hard for anybody else to really hit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Certainly not for this show.
No.
But speaking of charm, we have a show that is absolutely full of charm, a.k.a. Game Center Girl.
Ah, yes.
So we have British Girl, who they will make it very clear that she is British in this show, who enjoys being at a game center and ends up interacting with one of the staff. And I bring up the fact that he's British because speaking English is kind of one of the central elements of the first episode, of her trying to say things, him trying to understand things, and then responding to her, and some misunderstandings ensuing and so forth. But oh my gosh, is this show charming.
Yes.
It is just cute and sweet, and their interactions are just really fun, and the overall just art style has this lovely softness to it that works well with that feel. It's just these two characters basically. You see her mom briefly and a few other things like that, but it's really just these two for the first episode, and just kind of establishing their personalities and relationships, and it's just heartwarming.
Yeah, I really this is I think it sucked all the charm from the camping video. Right? Yeah, I just took it in here. So when I started watching this, I was just kind of like, okay, kind of a thing. But the color palette is just very interesting. I mean, I don't see how you cannot be like going, take a look at this and just kind of go, okay, I want to know a little bit more, because it's just very engaging, and very cute as well. But and as charming as this is, the thing that got for me was how intelligent it is and clever. Because this is the first episode, at least. I don't know if the rest of the shows can be like this. Is about them trying to communicate, and when she speaks, it's a British accent. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there's very little subtitles from her. Right? And the whole point is that if you're a Japanese viewer, maybe you're not supposed to understand her. Right? Yeah. Maybe you're so, and the way that they make that communication gap, it reminded me of a movie, Lost in Translation, with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. But there's that element of just like, oh, we don't speak each other's languages, and there's misunderstandings as a result of that. But even the best part of it is the guy here goes, well, let's figure out a way around it, and he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of does, and so it's engaging. Where and the best part is that once she understands what he's trying to do, she buys into it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just there's this it's just this wonderful thing where you can see that there's going to be some miscommunication, but it's not necessarily wackiness
Right.
involved.
Yeah.
But it's just like for example, when she gives him the Valentine, and he, it means something different in Japan, and he looks it up and he goes, "Oh my God, she's like 10 years younger than me. Did she really think this? Oh my God, what have I done?" And it's just, that's where the charm kind of comes in. You see this, and you see this kind of relationship happening.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because there's that assumption on both characters' side of good intentions from the other.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
while there is, wacky misunderstandings, it's not going to turn into, does he hate me? Or,
Right.
Is she offended now? It's, oh shoot, she's going to misunderstand. I'll go talk to her.
Right.
And the assumption is, if I talk to her and explain things, she'll understand. So it's like, thank you.
And I certainly love the idea, and I'd seen stuff in the last couple of weeks actually that was talking about, again, the idea of like, oh no, what English is learned in Japan isn't like
Right,
very
yeah.
functional English.
Mhm.
So it's like, I didn't think about it till I was, sort of after we had seen it, where I'm like, I wonder if this is a kind of a subtle kind of commentary to be
Sure.
like, well, by the way, most people, if they encounter somebody who's just speaking English to them, they're going to be like, oh crap, hi. And that's like all they know. And then they take it a really thoughtful direction with a journal exchange
Yeah.
where he can use the technology on his time to say the things he wants to say, not just on the fly come up with a certain phrase or something else, but he can actually write out what he's thinking to express things to her that the presumption is that when he gives her the journal and she can read it, that she can then explain things from her perspective, so that you don't end up with that miscommunication, that things get a little opportunity to be clarified on both sides, and that they can kind of have a sharing understanding of what's going on in the game center, what they're doing, who they are, and not have it, does he hate me or does she love me in like a weird way? It's like, no, this is, I think, why you've introduced like a mechanic for them to increase their communication capabilities, and that we get to watch them, grope in the dark, not in a weird way, grope in the dark to figure out, like, how do I communicate with somebody on the other side of the divide? And it's like, that's really sweet. I don't think there's too many that we've seen that are all kind of like that.
Right. And it should be called out. There is a large age difference here. And so one of the things they've done a good job of dancing around is the fact that there's, he does not have any romantic interest in her.
Right.
She is surprised that he appears to have said something to indicate that, but she is young enough that she's kind of more like, oh, that's sweet, than anything else. So it's kind of age appropriate for both of them. Thank you, Japan, for once.
Yeah. Well, they get married in the end, so it's fine.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of interactions between characters of different ages, let's move on to Hell Teacher Nube.
Yes.
Because this was an interesting one. So this is this was an anime from, I think, the 90s, early 2000s. I'm sure adapting a manga that went on for 23 volumes or whatever. But it's definitely evoking that art style of that period, which is something I quite appreciated. You might not like that style, but it's just kind of neat to see that evoked in a modern anime, in a show that's kind of horrifying some of the time. So yes, he is an exorcist basically, and he finds things, but there are these various creatures that can infect people, and he can exorcise that, but not before a fifth grader gets possessed by some evil demon, and then causes him to like throw things around, and it gets it gets pretty violent.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be kind of funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't quite expect how it was going to go, but that is kind of if you're into the kind of supernatural horror-y kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mhm.
is it's a nice visual take back to the 90s
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's not ghost stories,
Mm-hmm.
but
No.
you know what I mean. It's kind of got sort of that vibe to it. I'm like,
Oh,
like
definitely
I
that
said, when we
vibe.
watched
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
we watched it, and they decided to dub like they did ghost stories. It could be hysterical,
Sure.
Yes.
but it does seem to have a very solid supernatural kind of story.
Yeah.
Little ghost stories, little mushishi kind of mixed with it. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
And if you want shonen,
Yeah.
there it is.
Uh-huh.
So this is very much actiony. And what's very interesting, I never watched the original series,
me neither.
but what I found interesting about this is that we do focus on the children,
True.
meaning that the children are more on the screen than the adults are,
Yeah.
than our hero is. And so we have this fixation on the kids. So we go, okay, well, some of the kids have abilities, some of them don't. This kid is possessed, and we go, okay, well, there's some funny moments from the teacher here,
Mm-hmm.
and so but then it just you periodically it's just like, haha, oh my god, what just happened?
Yeah.
And it's really dark, and there's this like just insanely dark thing that happens to this kid, and I don't even want to explain it.
No.
But it's just you get a flashback of what's happening to this kid, and you get some clues, and you're just like, and you are horrified,
Yeah.
flat out horrified. So this is like one of those things where at first you're just like, oh, you know what, my 11-year-old, 12-year-old niece, nephew could probably watch this.
No. Yeah. Watch this first, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The original anime was from 1996 to 1997, so that mid 90s, late 90s vintage, which definitely tracks.
Yeah, I don't remember anything that I would say was like body horror ish, but just
I'd say some of the
Yeah,
stuff later on.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we get him kind of things,
Yeah.
but it's like nobody gets decapitated. Nobody.
Oh,
like,
sure.
that we-
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like there's nothing that's super far beyond. So if you're like, oh, my kids love horror, they'll love this. Be like, okay, it's.
Hey, until you have to explain that one flashback scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was to say there's some more
Yeah.
psychologically uncomfortable things than there is necessarily like full on body horror and
Yeah.
gore.
I mean,
And by the way, we're not saying that this is bad because of that.
oh yeah.
Just want to point that out. It's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
that just to make sure that you're with your kids when you watch
Well,
it.
this,
You want them
yeah,
to watch
and
it.
if this is in your wheelhouse for kind of horror-y kind of things, then
Yeah, horror
this is,
shonen.
this is fine.
It's a bit like Ghost Stories, actually, where that anime I felt like wasn't made for kids. It was made for like an older audience, nostalgic for being a
Yeah.
kid and hearing the ghost stories. And then, oh, what if I could actually, defeat the Hanako-chan in the toilet?
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
kind of more that vibe, as opposed to a, hey, 8-year-old, watch this. Not that an 8-year-old couldn't, potentially, but it feels like it's aimed at a kind of older audience than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one thought I had was, okay, kids, don't forget to buy the Demon Worm keychain as part of your tchotchke from.
Yeah. I mean, it is Weekly Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
So,
Sure, yeah.
But that is kind of that younger teen, late tween, younger teen kind of audience, as opposed to these are all 5th graders. So
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Hell Teacher Nube. Moving on to an episode, one that we did not get all the way through, aka Hotel Inhumans.
Oh yeah.
So this is one that, again, I'm sure a lot of folks will be into, and it is about an assassin who is betrayed and goes on the run, and then simply put, checks into a John Wick hotel. A
Yep.
sort of hotel for assassins and assassin-related stuff, and so then they have to enforce the rules, and we get that kind of a story here. Definitely aimed at an older crowd. Animation is, I think, perfectly adequate for the story they're telling. No crazy, beautiful, kung fu sequences, that kind of stuff, but a lot of gunfights and things happening that work just fine. I think the issue I had is that it's pretty grimdark, as you see as I'm flipping through some of these images.
Yep.
And then the characters never were interesting to me. They're all very one-dimensional thus far in the story.
Generic thugs, I think was what I said.
Yeah. It was when we were going through this, where I think all three of us at certain points were just going, oh, it's that, this is things that we've seen before, and this is and to the point about the animation is perfectly fine. And and there is an audience for this, and I don't want to seem like Debbie Downer on this. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. So if you like this, I would say go ahead and watch this. If this is up your alley, please do. And enjoy it, because you will. Just for people like me, maybe not so much. Maybe I wanted a little bit more other things involved with it. Maybe.
It has that vibe of, if you like action movies, it's very much feeding that. I just want kind of, not mindless action. That's overstating it. But I want kind of constant action. There's stuff happening and gunfights breaking out every 3 minutes, that kind of thing. So it's and again, there's usually some reason for it, but it's not deep in that way.
Well, for my personal preference, it did not go with romance, magical girls, and I didn't feel he was ever going to get there, so I couldn't get on board.
If he became a magical girl, I would be so into this show.
And then I would just watch it. Mob boss. What? No.
No. I would just watch it just to go. What? I just my head hurts.
Cerebral cortex.
We had one of those, which we'll get to.
This one definitely felt like, if you just want, and you nail it when we watch it. We're like, oh, it's John Wick Hotel. It's like, it doesn't feel like, in what we watch in that time period, that there was a hook in there that sort of developed a like, oh, but wait, there is this enticing thing going to happen. It's like, that didn't really happen.
And what's also interesting is that there is a big plot twist at the end of the episode, which we found out, and we were like, we figured. Which is not, again, to your point, Steve, I'm not trying to rain on people who like it. I'm saying it's the kind of show that is playing to tropes. Right. It is just trying to be that, and there's definitely a place for that, where you just enjoy watching a thing that is playing around with something that you can maybe not exactly predict, but is very comfortable. It wasn't quite as predictable as that was Necronomicon No Cosmic Horror Show. Which certainly entertaining. We were entertained throughout this entire episode. Fabulously interesting color scheme and just sort of visual presentation. I really appreciate the kind of time and effort they put into how the characters are presented, the different art styles of characters, different character designs, I should say. A wide variety of people. And then I'm not going to actually explain the full premise of this. Suffice except to say that these are all streamers, and that's actually one of the things I want to call out, who are invited to this very shady deal where they go into a VR mode and they have to all compete in this VR competition. Then the thing is revealed at the end is actually what's going on. the understanding of streamer culture is deep.
Yes.
Mhm.
Not just in they get the presentation of it, but the pressure, I don't have enough followers, I never have enough followers, I need this many to get this deal, to climb this ladder, I'm this kind of person, that kind of person. They seem to really get that and play off of it,
Yes.
for plot and for dramatic purposes. So, golf clap.
Yes. I think as someone who has a channel,
Yeah.
but I'm not on this level of by any stretch of the imagination. I literally don't go around. How do I get more viewers? I just do the thing.
Yeah, where you and Brent have 100 million viewers each.
Yeah. Hardly.
Yeah.
Me. But what to that point of this being about streamer culture, I think what's important about that notation is that we are advancing with the generation that's coming into watching anime.
Yeah.
And so we're getting different types of demographics to watch. So if you are it's just like when Gundam Wing was like one an anime that grabbed women to watch it, right? This is somebody who goes, oh well, there's a bunch of people who like watching live streamers and this kind of thing. They might tune into this,
Right.
And so you get this, and it's
It
just,
appeals
and
to the
really,
youths.
It appeals to the youth. To the
Only
youth.
Ute. What is a Ute?
But it goes on to. But if you want, I think the color scheme of this and the character design screams you're going to see some action.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you do.
Yeah.
Boy, do you. Yeah. This does not, and it's not boring. It doesn't let up, and it does, and it's very interesting. I don't know if you two want to do the reveal of it, but it does a very interesting visual twist in the middle of.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah, it does.
Of that.
Yeah.
And not just for a moment or two.
No, it goes on. When they jump into VR, it's all these chibi CGI characters running through a kind of Takeshi's Castle, a Wipeout style course. Although actually, I say all that, it's Mario Brothers, right? It's Super Mario World or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Basically. And again, they did a very fine job of making that interesting, to your point, and entertaining and cute. They vary the facial expressions a lot as they're going through all of this. So full credit there. But it's just very unexpected.
Yeah. When they did that, like when they're like, okay, they're going into the VR world, we're thinking SOA and all that, and then we get this, and we're all just like, okay,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
I mean, I like the angle of Necronomico because I like watching things that are Cthulhu mythos kind of stuff. So that kind of drew my attention to it, and I wanted to watch it with you guys because of the sort of color palette involved was like, this is going to be a really interesting ride.
Yeah.
It is more game challenge ride than I really typically watch. I'm not much for training arc. It's like I lump game challenge kind of things to get to a goal, to a point in an anime, very much like training arc.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's like, yes, fine, there's the points you have to go to, it's the challenge to get to the points to get to the goal. Like, okay. So the visual interest of it and the subject matter interest of it, I'm like, it's passably interesting. I like the choices that they've made with the animation style. That is interesting. If you're not really into the gameplay aspect of an anime, it's to that degree, it's esports anime, kind of.
Good point.
So that it's, if you're not into the esports and sports anime, I think it'll be hard to sort of like grip on why you're watching this.
Okay, yeah. But I think that's a great point. Like, I think that is a grip for people who do like that stuff. If you're into this, this will scratch that itch likely. As long as you can, get on the characters and enjoy them.
Right.
Yeah, good point. I don't know how much of this next anime I can show any of you, but we did watch the first episode of New Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt.
I think that's about it. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So I watched, of course, the original anime back in the day, and it's just weird. For those of you who know Panty and Stocking, this is basically just more of that.
Yes.
And it goes into funny. I'm hard pressed to even say what goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to say
YouTube
that
will shut us down if we explain.
If we try.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my best, if you have not seen I will say this: if you haven't seen the previous Panty Stocking, this is a continuation of it. It's not a It's not a redo.
Yeah.
I don't think you really need to. You can. I would encourage you if you want that style thing, but I would read the wiki first just to make sure.
Well,
A little bit.
To your point, this is such a direct sequel.
Yeah.
There's this very distinctive art style. They keep that art style here in the second season. It is continuing. So I would say if you haven't watched Panty and Stocking, you might as well go back and start with the original Panty and Stocking.
Yeah.
You don't really gain anything by starting now. It's not like it looks wildly different or anything.
Right.
And if you have seen Panty and Stocking, here's more of it.
Yes, that's the thing. So if you're a fan of that and that's what you want, it's as if the studio just said, "Do we want to do something new with this?" No, look at the fanboys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they just want more of the same. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Yeah, having only seen the very, I'm assuming, censored elements on Adult Swim,
Yes.
this is unexpected in sort of some aspects of it, but apparently completely within how they run this. So I just spent a lot of time going, huh? What the?
Yeah.
So kudos.
So, to be clear, Panty and Stocking is known for its raunchy elements, and those are very much a feature of this episode. So,
Yes.
There's some episodes which are just more, ridiculous parody or whatever. This is very much that. So, FYI.
Yeah.
But funny. We were laughing the entire time.
Yep. It was
worked,
quite the thing.
Particularly the last block.
And again, this is kiddie pool deep. So
Yes.
just don't expect much on that score. Just laugh and ride the ride.
Absolutely.
The great philosophical themes don't philosophize.
No. Speaking of which, we should talk about Night of the Living Cat.
Yes.
Can I ask for a buy break quick?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm drinking water all day. It's like,
Okay,
oh,
sure.
goodness gracious.
Sure,
So I'll be right back.
That is such a tonal shift going from that to this. Jeez.
We'll switch to something a little more. That's good. That'll be a good.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Anna was studying for the certification, like I was telling you guys, and she was like, I'm gonna have to buckle down and just take a look at this thing and study and da 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 da. And I'm like, you've been doing this as long as I have, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, I feel like I really need to do this. And she then she took the practice test after an hour and a half, and she got 24 out of 25.
Oh wow!
Right. So she goes, I guess I don't need to do this anymore. I'm gonna head over to George Hans's place and hang out. And,
nice.
And, what I'm like, all right, go ahead,
good
job. But yeah.
Speaking of kind of post-apocalyptic horror movies, remember I watched which we had both seen. What was the name of it? Robo War.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what the director of that also directed?
What?
Rat's Night of Terror.
Oh, why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised?
It's like, yeah, that kind of fits. Like you know the
Yeah.
budget and all that just kind of fits.
Wow.
And of course, now we must quote the famous final line from Rat's Night of Terror.
Dun, 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 the big reveal.
Indeed. Oh, chocolate.
Oh, oh my God.
Sheesh.
You know, as the line goes, I feel like I've grown dumber watching that. You know.
Yeah. What a movie. And I mean, in fairness, you know, that's the kind of thing where, you know, well, actually, I should check. No, they don't say. But it's probably one of those things that, you know, doubled its budget.
Yeah.
You know, they spent 100,000, made 200,000. They're like, good, success, moving on. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We were talking about great cinema.
Gray cinema?
Great cinema.
Great.
Oh, great
Yes.
cinema. I'm like, gray
Yes.
cinema.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Ooh.
very gray as well. But
Well, I figured it was between the light cinema and the black cinema, which would be, I guess, triple X. So gray is somewhere in the middle. Like, oh. I don't know these cinema terms, and I'm worried.
So now we will talk about Night of the Living Cat. One thing I appreciate about this show is that if you're at all familiar with the marketing, you know the premise, and that is correct.
Yes.
This is a zombie survival horror show where the zombies are cats.
Yes.
It's just cats. If the cats touch you, you turn into a cat, and that's the horror, because everybody, spoiler alert, in the main story used to work at a cat cafe, and so they all love cats, and so they just can't stand to not touch the cats and feel the cats and all that stuff. And yes, so it's so tragic and horrible.
Which, like I said, when we were watching it, if anime has taught us nothing, Japan has an obsession with cats.
This is true.
So not touching them is like a national tragedy.
Yeah. So the question here is, there's actually two big questions for me in this when I was watching this. First is, do they play to the inherent comedy of the premise, where it is, you know, presented as a zombie movie, and then what bangs the door open is a bunch of cats? Yes, that exactly.
Yes.
We get that. The other thing is, kind of to my surprise, much of it is the backstory of them, you know, running this cat cafe. So there is more to the story than just running from zombie cats, if you will. There is a little bit more depth to it. So if you're worried it's going to be, you know, a 5-minute joke premise stretched to 12 episodes, I think they've got a little bit more to work on there.
Yeah.
So that's good.
It was, you know, it's very nice when something's advertised and you get it and it's like, oh, it's what was advertised.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you get here. And it's just, and you're gonna laugh, and it is a, you know, you understand that this is a, and I'm putting this in very heavy quotations, horror anime.
Yeah.
You know, right? And it is, so you like they're showing real fear and everything, but they're also showing the tragedy. Like one of those, just like, I'm so sorry, I'm making you spray you with water. I'm so sorry, and you know, it's just hilarious. And but you know, as you're saying, Brent, you get that, but you also get, okay, here's the story, here's the thing,
Yeah,
and here's the thing that we have to figure out, particularly with that character that we were just looking at. There's something Yeah, I won't. We kind of figured it out, but
Mhm.
and you'll probably figure it out by the end of the episode as well.
Yeah.
But there's something about him,
Mm-hmm.
and so you know that there is a plot behind it. So there is
Mhm.
something going on that will be revealed as it moves forward. But it's just very, yes, sir. I was entertained. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a zombie-ish kind of thing that I kind of hadn't expected.
Yep.
I certainly understood from like the marketing for it what it was gonna be, and I got that. You're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely correct. But cats, it's like
Yeah.
really. And I honestly expected there to be like scenes that I would be uncomfortable with.
Mm.
And I was not uncomfortable. They
Oh.
did a good job at giving me a sense of like fear
Yeah.
of being like, oh, anxiety, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
But I wasn't at any like given moment like, oh jeez.
Yeah.
Like
So
that was horrifying.
let's call that out. So two things. The cats don't claw your eyes out or anything. They literally just like cover you with fluffiness and and then you turn into a cat.
Love
right?
you to death.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, the main characters, probably because they're cat lovers, they get away from the cats by like running or like spraying them with water. They're not like shooting them or anything, right? So
Right.
if you're a
Yeah.
cat lover and animal lover, there's gonna be nothing in here that squeezes you out or that squeeze you out. It's very appropriate in those levels. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, since I've talked to that before, enough times where it's like I will turn off
Yeah.
an animal abusive show.
Yeah.
I just, even though it's it's not real, I
Mhm.
know it's not real.
Yep.
It's just not something I'm into. So it's like I am super super glad they took the high road on how to deal with
Mm-hmm.
a catastrophe. It was really they spent a lot of detail on a lot of the cats, which you had pointed out,
True.
Brad. Be like, wow, they really went into this,
Mhm.
really being cat lovers, apparently.
Yeah.
And one of the things, to the effect of like, feeling tension, but it's not going to be like, oh my God, somebody's head just got rolled
Yeah.
off, or anything like that. But like, they hear a noise and they're like, what is that? What is that? And then you realize what it is. And then you just see, and instead of seeing a zombie going like slapping its hands against the door, all that, it's a cat just going,
Yeah, exactly.
and the reaction is priceless. It's like, oh my God, they're here, and then they just run.
Yep. Also, impressive use of some CGI and some 2D cats.
Yeah.
So when they just need like a still shot or a brief shot of a cat, it's 2D. When they have large numbers of cats, usually it's 3D, but it's not distracting for me. So nice combination of the cell shading there. So yeah, we laughed. Moving on to Rory Rocks.
Now on to the next.
Exactly. So who did they hire to animate this? That was kind of my question. Not studio, but like, oh my gosh, the animation in this is just almost over the top in the level of attention to detail and so forth. It is lovely. There's this scene here where she's kind of hopping back and forth between two legs, and it's very cute. But there's just tons of character to the animation here.
Yeah.
The designs are obviously cute. There's a lot of that. Basic premise is you have a young high schooler who hears you can go out and you can find gems in the wilderness. You have an older, she's a college student, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And
Or grad student, actually. I think
grad
it's maybe grad student.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. And they stumble on each other, and so the older girl starts to teach the younger girl about geology, effectively, in these absolutely gorgeous environments. The level of detail they put into these, I'm like, I want to go there and spend all day there. Combined with these, again, very cute character designs and just beautifully animated. Again, just the folds of her skirt, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I when I put this on because I watched this independently of you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the animation is just gonna grab you right away because this is what it is. It's clear,
Mm-hmm.
it's detailed. The backgrounds, I would Euro Camp, we were mentioning it a lot lately, but they have real places that they go to.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering if maybe this holds true.
Really feels like
if
it.
this is
Yeah.
like this is a place that somebody's been to before or they know about or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know that I would call it a healing anime, but I would definitely call it a very calm anime. The girl enjoys pretty things.
Mm-hmm.
And so she goes to her mom and goes, I want the pretty thing. I want the pretty thing. And she goes, no. And I'm not going to give you your allowance. You're going to have to work for it, whatever.
Mm.
And it says to her, oh, your grandfather used to go up in the hills if that's what you're looking for. And he used to find crystals. So that's how she starts off in her journey and meets this woman. And, they explore large tracts of land. Anyway, so, and they go through this process, and she explains it very, very well. The dark-haired woman very well about geology, like beginning geology, and it explains things, and they see success and that kind of stuff. And for me, I was just kind of just entranced. I'm just like going, maybe I'll go to the community college and take a geology course. I don't know. Maybe it sounds kind of interesting. It's kind of cool.
I will say the educational segments are, kind of in your face.
Yeah.
To the point of being a little jarring at times, where it's just okay, and now information kind of thrown at you. Whereas Eurocamp is a good counterexample where you see more of the characters interacting and doing things and so forth. And it's a little more diegetic than this feels almost like here's a page of a geology textbook at times. It's not bad, but it is
here's
little
how
more
sublimation
jarring.
works.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I want the hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first saw this, and I'd seen it independently as well, it's like it has I would call it healing.
Okay.
Because even though there's the educational aspect to it, there isn't romance drama, there isn't violence drama, there isn't and I know this sounds if somebody's listening to be like, so there's no drama? Be like no, there's reason to watch because it's just visually interesting. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see a character where she is a high school girl and to the point she looks pretty stuff. Oh, buy me, I want to buy the thing, I want to buy it's so tiny, and it's like, okay, so you're kind of spoiled, you have an allowance, you know what I mean, you want to use your allowance to buy pretty stuff, but you're also willing to sort of recognize that you can get the pretty stuff with a little bit of effort. And that the pretty stuff, to that same point, is like the pretty stuff's worth stuff. It's like, okay, you play that for the LOLs. It's funny. Right. Oh, this crystal will be worth money. I can find diamond. And it's like, and that's the beautiful point, I think, for this is like, yes, you're taking a materialistic person. You're dropping them in with somebody who is a grad student. She has presumably seen a lot of minerals. She's seen a lot of stuff. She doesn't really care. You know what I mean? Right. She wants to show somebody who likes the pretty things where this pretty stuff comes from. And sort of take that fire, that commercial materialistic fire, and turn it into exploring and then understanding. Hey, do you think that, such and such is interesting? Well, let me tell you about how that works geologically. Let me tell you about the work of time and water. So if we sort of put together how these forces work, that'll help us to define the area that we need to do things in and how to approach this. And it's like, I love that because somebody's passion helps to take somebody's materialism and lends it into a passion as well. And the intro that you see, there's a bunch of other characters involved in it. So it looks like going forward, it's like, this could be a really cute ensemble kind of, or is it the end that has more characters?
I think.
It might be the end. But it's like you might have this ensemble group where it's like they all have a fire,
Mm-hmm.
and it's to learn more about the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff
Mhm.
becomes almost immaterial. It's like the fire to understand and to find. And I'm like, that's something I want to. That's the kind of low key burn I want to sit with, because then I could just appreciate what it's doing.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And you get a nice bookend on
Yeah.
on this episode where we start with the I want the pretty shiny thing, and she goes at the end. It goes to her mom, "Give me my allowance." No, we're not gonna give you. What do you need it for? And then you discover what she needs it for,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, we're learning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, she's quite self-absorbed, the younger character.
Yes.
And so some folks might bounce off of that. So you might find that annoying to the point where you're like, I just don't like this archetype. Fair enough. But I think for me, they found a way to make that immature, right? It doesn't appear to be endemic to her character. She's
Right.
just kind of like Usagi in Sailor Moon, right? Where she can kind of throw temper tantrums and be kind of self-absorbed and so forth, but you don't hold it against her. It's like she needs to grow out of that at some point. She's not a self-centered person. She's just
Right.
grown up in an environment where that has been she's able to do that, if you will.
Well, there's that one scene where Senpai acts like Senpai. It's just like
Yeah.
literally just like stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Mhm.
Yeah. The quiet mentoring
Mhm.
and the gentle mentoring
Yeah.
Mhm.
is really, it's endearing,
It is.
because it takes what older people see for younger people who are just all over the freaking map and have no idea how to focus, and gives like this nice relationship where it's like,
Mhm.
you would think, I want the shiny thing, I don't get it, I go out to try and find it,
Mhm.
these things happen, it's between me and the shiny thing, I don't care anymore, I walk away. And it's like, no, you have a patient mentor who is helping to lens that energy into something, and it's like, well, that's nice growth.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like, maybe it's over optimistic to think, oh yes, the distracted youth, all they need is a good person to really focus their attention. Like, maybe that's too optimistic, but it's nice to see in this context.
How else
Yeah.
do people change?
Yeah.
You know, other people around them, to show them the way.
Truck gun. I mean, yes.
Speaking of gentle, let's talk about the secrets of the Silent Witch.
Yeah.
So this is a fantasy anime. So again, be ready for that.
Are you sure this looks like sports to me? I don't
know.
know.
That is a really big dachshund.
Yeah. Oh, please give me a sports anime where each team is like a fantasy race, and so you're fighting the Honda Dragons, and it's actually dragons.
They're all trying to play soccer. The Dragons are trying to figure out which toe to use to hit the ball. Like the ball blows out like the 6 buildings. Like, oh, sorry, my bad. Foul, yellow card.
Dragon goes,
Craigie gets knocked over by an orc. Flops. Red card. Oh, he hit me. You're the size of the Empire State Building, and he's only the size of like a Hyundai. What the hell are you talking?
Oh dear. Yes. So we have our main character, who is a quiet witch living in the woods. Come to find out, she's actually super powerful because she has learned. Well, I should back up, because she is very shy, and so she realized that magic requires what do they call it in D&D? Verbal components.
Incantations.
Yeah, you have to actually speak the words, and so because she is so terminally shy, she could not actually speak in front of other people during her
exams.
Magic exams. I'll not
Yes.
be able to find it here. But so what she does instead is just learns how to do magic without speaking, which apparently is super overpowered. So she is now the youngest of the 7 mages, and so then further premise is she has to look over one of the princes of the kingdom,
Yep.
who's now going
Yep.
to Magic Academy. So she's going to re-enroll in Magic Academy as Cinderella, and basically who is being sent to Magic Academy, and
She's Hermione going off to protect the. Oh, never mind. That's
Pretty
not
much,
a Harry
pretty much.
Potter reference.
So it's very cute, very fun. A lot of attention to detail on environments and characters. The reason I say fantasy
Yep.
is because they do a lot of work here with the environment, what it looks like, and so forth. There's all the details of her house. So I really appreciate that sense of we're actually living in what feels like a fully realized fantasy world.
Yeah.
And then she has to go off and be, the sort of stereotypical kind of girl at Magic Academy kind of a thing. Which
I
looks
think
like
she
fun.
plays the attendant to that girl.
No, I think
Isn't she?
technically, yeah. Well, the cover story is that she is her younger sister, but the younger
that's
sister is the Cinderella's ugly stepsister thing. So she's being treated as her servant, even though she is actually her sister, which will make everyone feel bad for her.
But ultimately, the question is, will they make it to Magic National?
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Now, I will say, as cute as this is, as charming and kind of healing as this is in a lot of ways, this does deal a lot with a girl with social anxiety being constantly pressured through social anxiety to do what other people tell them to do.
Yeah.
So there is a certain level of I don't really love how the characters are motivating the behavior of these things. She is constantly being kind of pressured and tears in the eyes kind of a thing. But it is for comedic effect. That's it's kind of to get the story going. I get it. But it's cute. It's a lot of fun. And I really appreciated the joke with the older sister being the older sister.
Yeah.
So to that point, quite trope aware of a show,
Yes.
which I appreciated. They're like, no, we're not actually going to do the thing that it seems like we're going to do. We're going to have more fun with it than that.
It was fine for me. I
Mhm.
laughed at certain parts of it, and like the points where she just kind of sits there and she like they're trying to get her does that face. Yeah, it's just like you're just like, oh no, you poor thing.
Yeah.
And and by the way, yes, there's a talking cat. Yeah, Nero. I think
It's a cat and it talks.
Yeah.
Ah.
But it's if you just want a straight up fantasy story, pretty much this is it. You'll laugh. You'll laugh. You'll cry.
And not having read anything about it,
Yeah.
I like some of the fight presentations.
Mhm.
I like that. Hopefully, it is not all pressure. You know what I mean? That it's she will grow, she will develop. This will be a thing. But it feels like I already know she's going to grow and she's going to develop and she's going to be be the best, seventh sage that she can be. It's like so kind of that feeling. It's like I don't know that it's going to do anything amazing. It's great this first episode, but it doesn't feel like it's going to do anything that you're not anticipating.
Okay.
Like she's not going to. It doesn't feel like she's going to fail.
Right.
And she, what she's tasked to do, she will fail utterly, and she'll end up back here at the cabin, and she will spend the rest of her life alone and in deep misery and sadness. It's like
I don't think it's that kind of episode. No. Show.
Right. So it's like there's a lot to be said for. There's a lot of beautiful, loving rendering done. There's a lot of interesting things that will potentially happen, but I certainly don't think anybody going into this is necessarily going to be like, this is going to be genre breaking and it's going to be so
no.
different wildly from where I think it's going to go. And it's like,
No.
So part of me wanted, when they said, and magic can only be done by chanting, and they had the characters doing the chanting in a weird language, I really wanted to hear throat singing from like dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. There's a shot here somewhere of the cast, basically. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the show. Right. Is characters all interacting and her coming out of her shell a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I think
they will provide specific character traits that will help her to grow into her ultimate self.
Although I don't know about that. I think she will grow, but I think she will remain shy throughout it. I think it's kind of the question is how far will she grow out of her shyness over the course of this? Because I suspect they're playing around with the fact that she's never going to become an extrovert.
No.
Right.
But she will become better with talking with people and dealing with things, because it will culminate, like one would expect, in events that will force her out of her comfort zone and to expand her horizons.
Yeah.
And that she will not, to your point, she will not become this bubbly, girl on the right.
Right.
Hey, how are you doing? What's going on? But she will become more capably socially functional, that she can do things that she's tasked with.
And to be fair,
who knows?
We're speculating,
right?
So
absolute speculation.
Yeah. But speaking of anime, where some character growth I think is going to be necessary, is the summer Hikaru died. Boy, what do we say about this show?
Yeah.
And we can say, again, the premise has been explained. So you have your two main characters, both high school students, both boys, and the one of them is not actually the boy. He has been replaced by something. And so the premise is there's essentially a monster that has swapped out and replaced this friend of his. And he realizes this and quickly realizes that, what do I do? Because if I reveal this to people, then I've outed him, which makes me a threat to him. But also, and here's where it gets interesting, the monster is enjoying experiencing life, is enjoying just being a person. And so there's a sense of allowing that entity to live, and have a life, but it's not that simple. As things start happening in the town, and you start developing that kind of background horror/thriller element of, okay, bad things going to start happening. Is he responsible? Is he not responsible? Are other folks responsible? There's clearly a larger organization that's starting to investigate all of this. There's kind of an X-Files team, apparently, in the world that's starting to investigate this. But the remarkable thing to me, one of the remarkable things, is how much this feels like being a high schooler in this small, rural, remote town. For such bizarre of a premise, I felt connected to the main character and appreciated the decisions he was making.
Yeah. This will definitely grab you at the outset. It's literally a panic scene with a flashlight in the night in woods. That's all you have to say. And you just go, your sense of tension heightens, and it's not like Night of the Living Cats where you go, haha, you're like, something's going on. Oh, and by the way, this happens in 2020. They make it a point to tell
Good
you
point.
this is
Yep.
this is happening in 2020. So that you see this thing happening at the beginning, and you see something strange happen with the friend Hikaru,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes on, and it's the problem is that the entity, it calls itself a monster,
Yeah.
but I think that is just language, because we see in the outset that he has problem with language a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so maybe he's not using monster in the correct sense,
Mm-hmm.
because the entity, as you pointed out, he's living this life,
Yeah.
right? And the friend who was the best friend of the boy prior to this
Mm-hmm.
kind of figures this out, and that's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
He really enjoys his friend so much, had enjoyed it being with his friend so much, that he's just like, I don't want this to go away,
Yeah.
even though it's not him.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a complex relationship between the two of them, and then as it starts being like interesting insofar that you're like, you learn what happens, and then you see the him guiding the entity in his friend's body through how to be human and enjoying things and stuff like that. And then we get to the last third of the episode, and then you just start going, oh no, oh no, oh no. And you start getting points, and you start getting like things that are ominous, and then by the end of it, you're just like, who is doing what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, if you want one of those series where it just starts off and you like having, oh my god, what's going on, and you just want to talk about it. And this is definitely water cooler.
Yeah. 100%.
You know.
Yeah.
And so if you want that, you're gonna get it, and that's not a bad thing.
Vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's also interesting about it, to that point, is that it's psychological horror, but it's also horror.
Yeah.
Like there's also like really disturbing imagery and so forth, and no like body horror. What kind of body horror in a way?
A little bit.
There's, I'll put it this way. His body can kind of become liquidy, monstery kind of thing. So it's not like, there's an arm sticking out of my head kind of body horror.
Right.
But just, weird deformation of his body.
Yeah, nobody exploded in the first episode.
Exactly.
Right.
But there's definitely some strong imagery here.
Yeah.
So there's combining both of those. Again, very X-Files in that sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. And I said to you guys were talking about Higurashi, and it's like I kind of had a feeling of like To Your Eternity.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's something. I guess that's a reasonable thing to call. It's something trying to grapple with the concept of what people are.
Yeah.
Not a eat you and see what your flavor is, but more to like what motivates you. What kind of memories do you have? What do things objectively and subjectively mean to you? What does something taste like? What is an experience like? So it's interesting in that I'm not a big horror-y kind of suspenseful thriller kind of like this. So it's piqued my interest, but I might have to get through a second episode to figure out whether like how like really weird is this gonna go.
Great point. Yeah, to that point, like this could go really dark and really horrific.
Yeah.
And that might not be everyone's cup of tea. It certainly is not.
Yeah.
It could go complete slaughter fest.
Yeah.
And it's like I just don't know that I'm
Yeah. But the interesting thing about it all is that the thing that is inhabiting Hikaru's body is not naturally malevolent. It is a thing that is surviving. So when it says things like, I like you, I don't want to have to kill you, he's not saying that as necessarily as a threat, but he's generally saying, oh, I like you, but if I don't, so I don't want to have to kill you to survive.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, there's no malice there. There's no just like,
Yeah.
oh, you're my slave now, and
Yeah.
I own you. Nothing
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And he even says at a certain point, I think he says, "Yes, I actually have all of his memories,
Yeah.
but I am experiencing it all for the first time."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It reminds me of discussions around John Carpenter's The Thing,
Yeah.
where there's an argument that, as far as The Thing is concerned, it is just bringing everyone into the collective. Right.
Right.
There's nothing it sees as bad about this. This is just how it as a life form works, and it is just carrying out its prime directive.
Right.
It's just doing that in a way that is horrific, to us,
To the rest of us.
to individuals that are not that. And so there is that sense here of it. This is just another being trying to survive, trying to live, and that has been put in this situation, and is, to your point, no malice, no malevolence, but it may end up doing very, very bad things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In executing its need to survive.
And that's the thing. It's like, are we conditioned to see a statement like "I like you, but I don't want to have to kill you" as being a veiled malevolent threat?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Versus a neutral statement of an amoeba will eat to survive.
Right.
It eats things. It doesn't ask them. It's like, hey, I like to live. I do the thing.
Yep.
But it's like, almost every time you see that in a film where it's like, I really like you. I enjoy hanging out with you, but I won't hesitate to kill you. It's like, that is pretty much interpreted as like, I'm a malevolent power that can kill you. Like, that's what I have to do. And it's like, but this is, you're stuck with that. Like, he's not mean. He's not like, sort of lording over him, being like, I like you, but I'll kill you. Right. It's just like, it's such a statement. It's just a blank statement where it's like, oh, how do you, so it's up to me to interpret whether you're a malevolent or not. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
All right, let's take a hard left turn from that one. And move on to the Water Magician. Which is almost the opposite of that.
I made water.
So the main character has isekai'd in a very specific way, where he has been given these very specific gifts in isekaiing of 2 months worth of provisions and specific abilities over like water and so forth. And this allows him to kind of train to become good at that. Now, excellent use of animation here, because it's essentially an episode-long training montage that still felt interesting, that still felt engaging all throughout, partly through good use of animation to show how his powers are evolving, and use of facial expression and so forth to get that across. This could be very boring, it could be very generic, but it didn't feel that way. And
yes, thank goodness they didn't give us like 15 minutes out of a 25-minute episode of nothing but training.
Right.
They broke it up. Like, thank you.
Especially for a very standard protagonist Coon character design for him.
Yeah.
Not complaining, just very, we've seen this before, and that's fine. And as you'll see as I'm going through there, a lot of attention paid to color scheme, dusk versus day, and so forth, and inside versus outside, which I always appreciate. Also kind of interesting that partway through, he starts just wearing basically a bearskin as clothing, even though he clearly has clothes from in the past, so it's not clear if those have worn out or if he's saving them or whatever. But you do get shirtless protagonist Coon at some point. And then we see him learning the rules of this world and progressing as you mentioned, I think this does a good job of doing that. Okay, how does this work? What are my powers? How do I do my powers well? The downside is that's what you get in episode 1. So there's no real sense of what the larger plot is, what the story is. You see from the opening credit sequence, it's him interacting with a bunch of other kind of adventure-y people. So you can assume that's where it's going. So if you're looking for that, you're not going to get much of that in this episode. But again, as a fantasy anime with fantasy things, they did a fine job there of setting up the premise of the show.
So one of the things I appreciated for someone who is not, John, you talk about not being tuned into certain genres. Isekai is something that I don't normally dial into either, just because it's been overdone in my mind. But one of the things I did appreciate, though, is that when we came to the moment of Isekai, you had an accident, you're dead, and you have like a nanosecond of the headlights of Truck-kun and this kid, and that's all we need to know, right?
Yep.
And then the guy explains, no, I'm not a guy, I'm kind of like an angel, whatever, but what do you want to do? I want to live a slow life. Okay, we can do that. We'll send you on your way, and here's your gifts, and here's going to be your power, and we're going to just send you down. And the nice thing is that we don't have to go through the whole thing. Oh, I'm a baby with all of my internal thoughts.
True, yeah.
And so I have to go through all of that to get there. He's straight up just goes, here I am, boop, and it sets him down in the world. And he's given a knife and a couple books, and with which to learn from. And again, as you were saying, the training is broken up a little bit more evenly, so it's not just and he's making interesting decisions on how to how do I make the water hot? How do I make it ice? How do I do these things? And then just moving on into the world. And one of the things I appreciated as this in this world, and one of the things that we see that might be a little bit jarring, is that he's given a book about monsters in the world. True. And one of the things that he's told is that dragons just run away. Yeah. Because if they see you, they eat you. Well, you see, we showed you a picture of him talking to a dragon. And you have, he is being trained. Somebody picks up on him. Dullahan picks up on his existence. And he goes, well, yeah, this guy trained me. So we don't have to go through like 10 minutes of him over and over again slapping with the blade or whatnot. But so it was just kind of nice as far as isekais go, for me at least, just to kind of go, okay, we're gonna get you there, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna show you a couple things that are not exactly true, and then we're gonna show you a couple things that are true, and then we're gonna move on. Then we're gonna go.
To that point, I want to call out something that you guys mentioned, how he uses his ice powers to stick his knife onto a bamboo pole.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, oh, it's not just I found some rubber gummy thing somewhere to stick them together. Thinking through how I can use my powers to further a goal, a technical goal, if you will. It's like, oh, good. Thinking things through.
Well, and that's one of the things that talking about it with you guys, watching it with you guys, and thinking about it, it's like it sounds dumb to say, but it feels like this first episode is somebody who understands the isekai genre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they're like, okay, the things we have to accomplish is he has to do the isekai thing, so we have to give at least a little bit of information on how he got there.
Yep.
But we don't need to belabor that point. We need to have what is the agent that gives him the sort of transport to the other world, and does the thing for him to make him special. And then he needs to have basic information, so he needs a book, a basic weapon, and we need to have some basic training montage, but we don't need to belabor that point either. So this first episode, let's condense the entirety of like an isekai into manageable chunks, and then he gets something special in addition to being specially put here for 2 months. And now episode 2, we can hammer the story.
Right.
And it's like, and I know, like I said, I think that sounds stupid, but it's like it feels like somebody critically thought about. I don't need to just, puke up another isekai. Let me just cut to the chase. We all know why we're here, and now I've ticked off all the boxes, and we can move to episode 2 and start getting on the story.
It's basically having a thankfully Batman movie that doesn't spend 15 minutes telling you how he became Batman.
Right.
We all know.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like, just cut to the chase. This is, all the things happened. Here he is. Now let's get on with the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Moving on from that to really the big sports anime of the season, Turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
yes.
a lovely little bowling anime. So Cute Girls Bowling is basically the premise. The twist here being that you have kind of captain of the team here who is quite good at bowling, but has a bit of an emotional issue with that at times. So she kind of gutter balls at times. But the blue-haired girl you see down back there is the serious one who really, wants to get good, wants to be really skilled, while the rest of the team is more doing it as a social activity. And so drama ensues. And that's kind of one of the remarkable things about the show is that you think it's going to be cute girls bowling, and then you get kind of a fairly intense dramatic scene here with them as you realize it's all kind of falling apart as the blue-haired girl really wants to do that. Lovely animation too. Like they've done a good job of differentiating characters and different personalities as well.
Yep.
So you really get all that.
And they did CGI the bowling itself.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was done very nicely. I mean, they really set that up beautifully. It's like, okay, fair.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, we're not particularly sports anime people in terms of huge on sports anime, but not only the animation of them bowling isn't very nicely done, where it's like, yes, that seems accurate, but then just the melodrama, I guess, of it is well paced, where it's like, yes, this is the kind of thing you would imagine, teenagers kind of challenging each other and getting kind of a little emotional about things, and I really want to do this or I don't. And so you get all of that, and it never felt like over melodramatic, but like just enough to kind of keep the story going.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like you said, it's not like I'm not big on sports anime. I did bowl for a little while. Wasn't any good at it, honestly. but one of the things, like you talked about the CGI, and there's actually several great moments where they bowl the ball down, and they show you like how, I don't know if you ever watched professional bowling, but you see that curve inside of the lane where it just kisses the gutter. You're like, it's like ice skating. Is it going to go in or not? I don't know. And then you have the strike, and then of course
and they did pay attention to form. Like bowling forms are actually really pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. And you see that determination right there in our main character's face.
Yep.
And then of course there's the drama of the beginning of the episode of like, will we have enough members for the team? Right. And then so we go through the episode towards and end up with I'm going to make a bet with you, and that's so you want to definitely watch that. So,
plucky team captain versus the taciturn kind of I want to go to nationals girl.
Yep. And watch through to the end.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very interesting how this gets resolved.
Yeah.
Yes,
it is. Yeah. Not really resolved, really.
Kind of.
It's kind of complicated. It gets complicated.
It is only the beginning of the journey.
Exactly. Yeah. Beginning of the journey. All right. And then moving on from there to With You and the Rain. I think that's the one I have here.
Yep. I've got you guys frozen. I can hear you, but I can't.
Okay. We will take a moment for things to resolve.
All right. There we go. I got the Tanuki. And
okay.
We're back.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So quiet woman adopts a tanuki is the basic premise here. I love the art style here. I think they did a fabulous job of being understated with the art, but in a way that really complements the presentation. It is a very quiet story. It is just about a woman who takes home a tanuki and decides to bring it in as a pet. What's interesting about this is that she thinks it's a dog.
Right.
And everyone around her is like, that's weird. That's a dog that can write.
Yeah.
Because there are times, there are moments where it just squeaky, 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 and presents a thing, and everyone's like, oh, so that's what you said. And as the audience, you're like, wait, what? Everyone finds this okay? But like, there's this constant like reality shifting that's happening around this tanuki that just allows everyone to treat this as normal.
Yeah. So to the art style, when you first get into the intro, which is the intro and outro are just amazing. And it gives me, if anyone out there is familiar, out in Chatland, familiar with chill hop vibes, that's definitely this. And I want to say that it is fantastical insofar that the tanuki is able to disguise himself by glamoring people, basically.
Yeah.
And just saying, no, I'm a dog. And they do the things. And so everyone just accepts it, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like Pompoko where everyone's just like, I'm going to metamorph and blah, 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 and all this stuff. No. It's just like a little bit of sparkly, and there you go.
Yeah.
And it's done. And because at first we were like going, why does she keep calling it a dog? It's clearly not a dog. What's going on here? But then you realize what's going on. And then it turns into a new genre of anime, I think, which is ASMR anime.
Yeah.
And it just, we get this really, oh my goodness, was it just, I think we, all three of us just kind of went, okay, I'm feeling so relaxed. Okay. I'm going to go to sleep now. Just keep the camera rolling.
Yeah.
And it was just really, really
Healing,
unexpected, relaxing,
Yeah.
calming, and unexpected. And if this is the way the vibe of the show is going to be, which I think it will be, where I don't think we're going to have high drama. I don't think this is built for that or anything of that nature. No Gundams. Yeah, no Gundams. And the scene where she just turns off the light, opens up the window, you're just like, while she's in the bath, and she goes, I just like it dark and it's in the bath. And then you get through that whole montage and you're just like going, yes, I do too.
Just the sound of pouring rain.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's just, and so we don't have a whole lot of plot other than she takes Tanuki home.
Yeah.
Right.
She goes and buys food at the convenience store, that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
And the vet.
Yeah.
The vet. Yes. The vet. But we go through that and we get to the end of it and we know that there's something going on. There's a reason why this Tanuki is there, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And we're kind of okay with that, given everything else is just like, okay, fine. I'm good. Totally relaxed.
Well, let's call that out. Like, she is very low key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her personality is, under tempo, if you will. And so that's kind of part of the intriguing part of the episode is like, is she lonely?
Yeah.
She's not overtly sad, but she has that kind of Comey can't communicate vibe to her. Besides kind of looking a little like Comey. And so it's like, has this Tanuki realized that she needs companionship?
Yeah.
Or not, because there's this sense that, well, no, she's okay. She may just be flat affect. And she may just be a quiet kind of a person. It's kind of hard to say where they're going to go with that. And especially, to your point, Steve, that scene of the rain and how much effort they put into that makes you wonder if this isn't about appreciating the quietness, the solitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think certainly I'm. It's not low humor. I mean,
Yeah.
low energy humor.
Yeah.
So that
But-
it is funny. The
Mhm.
Tanuki does things, and you're like, wow, that's kind of goofy. The vet
Yep.
does things. It's funny. But it's not high funny.
Yeah.
It is just little bits of humor
Mm-hmm.
injected in to give little pulses of like, this seems to be something that she lacks in her life, not
Mhm.
because she is low humor herself,
Mm-hmm.
but she's low key.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She appreciates the little things.
Mhm.
She is a little, thinking that Tanuki is a dog, which Brent, you had pointed out, it has the leaf on its head, so maybe that's its magic, like Steve Charm. That's the
Mhm.
charm function, is the little leaf makes everybody be like, oh, it's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
Yeah.
okay, so that would be Tanuki-ish.
Mhm.
That's the inside joke, like, haha, you don't recognize me as a Tanuki.
Yep.
And for some reason, writing things to communicate also is not weird. So, fair enough. But it really feels like this, with the rain, with how this is so sort of centered,
Mm-hmm.
it is just, it's got just enough to be like, oh, this is entertaining, but also it's got such a vibe on it. Be like, I could watch this for like quite some time and just be so chilled out with it.
You know what it is? It's mature.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep,
Right.
good point.
Not
Good
in a
point.
sexy way. It is about an adult woman who is going about her life, and there's nothing zany. There's nothing, over the top. There's nothing, no overreactions. It's just, what is it like to adopt an animal and go around
Yeah.
and do the things? Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Yes, it is very
Mhm.
mature in that respect.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
She didn't collapse when she saw it and go, oh, God. It's like, no.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. That is a mature reaction to an animal in a box in the rain. Like,
Mhm.
no.
All right, and I believe we will finish out with. We didn't watch this one either, did we? We did.
We
Good.
did, yes.
We did. Yes. Let's finish this one out with Zutaburo Reijo wa. I forget the term. It's the Cinderella anime.
I'm engaged to my ex.
I'm engaged to my ex, my girl, my sister's ex.
Ex, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's Cinderella. It is
Yeah.
Cinderella. It is
Mhm.
well executed Cinderella. It is very much that concept. It is her as a poor, as a second, third daughter who is forced to
Yeah.
do all the work and is not treated very well, except by the mysterious, literally tall, dark, handsome man.
Yep.
Yeah.
The prince from somewhere else. And
Yes. And then situations switch around, and so she is sent as his wife, even though that was not originally the plan. And to her shock and surprise, he is actually not a jerk to her when she arrives, and now she has the ability to actually be treated as a normal, nice girl. Here's the thing. This anime is aimed at people who love a good romantic Cinderella story, right?
Yep.
This is a Harlequin
Yeah.
romance. Who's familiar with
Yeah.
those things, right? It is tropey, it is melodramatic, but it does exactly that. Like, it is so effective at presenting that thing and making you hate the people who hate her and love her and love the prince and want all of these things to happen exactly as they're doing it. Again, tropey as all get out, but for that, it is doing that really well.
Yeah.
But the alien invasion at the end was really surprising. No,
So-
I don't dare say that for people who that would watch it. They'd be like, you lied about the alien invasion. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm just kidding with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
tropey. Yes, it certainly is. Which every once in a while, a nice, good, simple love story
Yeah.
of bad people who treat a good person terrible, and then fortune turns around and makes things better for them. So it's not just a miserable grind from birth to
Yeah.
death. That's kind of uplifting in a very
Yeah.
real sense in the modern world.
Mhm.
So
But again,
what-
it's not breaking any new ground
Sure.
on the genre.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
and when we're saying it's a Cinderella story, we're not being
Yeah, we're not being glib.
hyperbole. We're not being glib. This is Cinderella. This really,
Yeah.
I mean, when you see the opening sequence of her walking up the stairs, she is walking in glass slippers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. So,
Kinda like,
so
hey.
yeah, I'm like, what? Okay, yeah, this is Cinderella, all right. And it really is all of that. It really is. You look at the parents, and you're just like, I hate you. And you're looking at the people who treat her badly. I hate you.
Mhm.
And then you see the little sister or the older sister, sorry, who treats her nicely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this nonsense.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was just putting out an ember that had caught her dress on fire.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Because how can you really like somebody who turns around and says, "I wish you were the one who died"?
Right.
So
yeah.
you know,
Whew.
and of course we have the little bit of a backstory of the prince, so to speak, of him being, like the rumor she's hearing is that he's a misogynist, and he's trying to deal with her, and obviously this has a little bit element of I can change him,
Mhm.
kind of a thing going on. But they have this wonderful little scene right here where an actual conversation is being had between the two of them,
Yeah.
and they're finding commonality, and it's just really nice. And she's excited to have, oh, you acknowledge that I exist. Not only that I exist, but I'm a human being.
And to be clear, it's like, you acknowledge that, and you don't think I'm freakishly ugly, which is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, miss.
Yeah, yeah. So it does. It's a trope, but it
Mhm.
does all the things that it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's there's times when you want something comforting that's going
Yeah.
to give you exactly what you want. It's comfort food anime.
Yeah.
Right? That is.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what this is.
what was the one? Too Many Saints.
Yeah.
Wasn't that from last season? We
Mhm.
talked about where it's like you have the person that gets treated terribly, and then the thing happens, and now there's a whole new world of people who
Yep.
are like, "Oh, I don't hate you from the bottom of my soul." Well, what's that like? I don't know. And then you get to sort of explore a brand new world with
Mhm.
them and how things are to not suck. So that's
And-
amazing.
Yeah.
And thank you, staff, for doing all this in the first episode.
Yes.
Yes.
We can move on from here. I'm sure there'll be some, flashbacks and so forth, but you very much get the feeling that from this point on, it's going to be her feeling fish out of water, but around people who care for her,
Yeah.
Well, like the one with the isekai.
Mm.
When you know what you're doing
Yeah.
and you know the point and purpose of it, you
Mhm.
can cut the treacle.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're here for the thing you're doing.
Mhm.
Don't belabor us with going over it all again. Just
Mhm.
cut straight to the chase. Girl, Cinderella, terrible, great guy, off you go. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Exactly. So there we go.
And then the kaiju attack. Oh, nice.
No. So those are the 32-ish anime that we watched thus far. No, 22-ish. 22-ish. that we
22-ish.
did. I'm sure you all have seen anime other than these. Apologies we didn't get to all of it. We got to a fair number.
We've done what we
We've
can.
done what we can. And
We each had a stroke, but we can still see out both of our eyes. So there's.
and I'm glad we watched these. Like, this was a
Yeah.
nice representative stuff. There's definitely anime I want to come back to. So it's always a good thing.
Well, as we had talked about before, it's like this has been a really good summer season. There's been a lot of stuff, a lot of season
Yeah.
2, season 3s, 4s.
Mm,
It's been a feast.
yeah.
And
Yes.
it terrified me, Brent, when you said, "Oh, the bubble." I'm like, "Oh no, never! The bubble never bursts. No." Like, I want to feast like this all the time. To have too many. Oh, we only got to like 75% of all of the anime. It's like,
so if you all have any other anime that you would recommend to us from this season, please drop those in the comments below. I do read the comments. And so I would love to see anything that kind of stood out to you all as remarkable from this season.
Yes.
Yes, please. I would love to see that.
Yes. Yeah. Tell us what you think on various anime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. And we'll get to see. Well, I'm curious to see what we thought would go in a certain direction. Episode 2 didn't.
Right? Yes.
we'll see.
Because we have a few of those.
That happens too. All right. Thank you all very much. Enjoy your season, and we will see you all next time.
See you guys.
Until then, watch more anime.
Watch more anime.
Watch more anime.